Hey guys, welcome out to the workshop today. I've got a little helping hand for you guys today. So today I have a project here. I call it the ibeam sawhorse. There are many different kinds of sawhorses out there on the market right now you can buy or build. Look on Pinterest, you guys can find so many different designs. And the one design that I really liked is the ibeam sawhorse. So some of the things that I like about it is that it's got three sections right here for really added strength. The legs are beveled at 15-degree angles at the top and the bottom so that they sit nice and flush right up against here, or if you can see there, close to flush. You can even stack these on top of each other for even better storage ideas or storage options. And the best thing about it is that if you cut through the top of your sawhorse, you take off the 3 screws, put on a new 2x4, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about making a brand new sawhorse. So as I said before, here are my quick little draw up plans. My sawhorse is going to be only 24 inches wide, and they're made out of complete 2x4s. The legs are 30.5 inches from short end to long end, and you'll understand that once you start cutting them. The legs are beveled on the top and the bottom at 15 degrees. When you're screwing screws, you want one on each end, one in the middle, and then on the bottom I have, I believe, 5 screws in there. And for screws, as you can see, I've got a bag of screws right here. These are 2.5 inch screws. I was going to use 3 inch, but these are way too long and they would actually screw right through the 2x4s on the ends when you join them at the top. And I tried to use 2-inch screws, but guess what? Too short. So we went with the middleman and did 2.5 inch screws. So enough procrastinating with this build. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Alright guys, so what I have going on here is I've got this 2x4 right here, and we're going to make the top real quick. The top is made out of 3 different pieces, so we want to make each one at 24 inches. So that's simple by... And you want to do it on the front side because we're working with the crosscut sled right now. And if you don't reference off the front side, you won't know exactly how long or where your exact cut is. So I've got it marked right here on the front edge, and when I come over here, I can go ahead and line my line up with this side right here, and that way I have 24 inches actually cut. So we got it cut, or we got it lined up right there. Alright, now we can just bring the 2x4 over, and I can use this first piece as a reference piece. Take my square, butt it up against that 2x4, make sure that my end over here is flat, wherever my pencil is. Now we can mark it, and then I will cut that line, and that'll give me exact same pieces. And what I'll do with this piece right here is I will take this one and put it on this side so that I can save it, and I know that's my first piece, that's my reference piece. So now I come back over here and I want to take the line and I want to put it just on this side of where I cut, because I want to cut on that line. So the last one I want it over here. This one I want just to where it's going to be cutting. So now I should be able to come over and check my 2 pieces, and they are completely flush unless you tip them, and then they aren't. So this one is my reference piece. So I can go ahead and put this on top of this one, drag it all down again, put my square once again over here. Make sure my edge is flush. And then make my mark. This will give me 3 exactly equal pieces. Alright, so to get the I-beam shape, what I want to do is obviously take 1 2x4 on the bottom, 1 in the middle, and then 1 on the top. But you don't want them just kind of laid up there and just kind of thrown together. You want to go ahead and get them all evened up and lined up on the edge. So what I want to go ahead and do, and all you need at this point is your square, because it's got the measurements on there. So what you want to do is go ahead, and these are 3.5 inches in width. So you can find the 1 3/4 mark. Then you can line that up. Draw a line down the middle. And I measured off of this side. So when I go to do the other side, I want to flip it completely over. Measure it off the same exact side. That way, if you're off by a little bit, you are off in the same direction and you aren't just kind of like kitty corner or crooked. Now this one is going to be my middle piece. So we'll put that one down for a second. We'll do the same with this one. So we'll do 1 3/4. Line it up. Draw my line, flip it over. I almost made the mistake there. So we'll put that to the side. Now for this piece, because it's going to be my middle piece, I want to go ahead and mark it lengthwise. So this is 1.5 inches, so I'll go to 3/4 of an inch. And this is a little trickier to get all squared up. So what I do, because I measured off of here, I'll come down here as well. Do 3/4, and then I will come in the top. Reference off my 2 marks right here. And then I'll draw my line. Flip it over, do 3/4, So now I have my mark right here, and then I have my center mark on these, and if you can't tell by now, you're going to want to just line these up. So this is going to be my bottom, so I'll go ahead and get these lined up right there, and then I'll come over to this side, get these ones lined up. And I'll hold that down, and I'll make 1 drill hole right there. I'll go ahead and attach 1 screw, because then I can use this as a pivot point to 100% get the other side lined up, or at least close to it. And just like the other side. And I want to go ahead and put 1 right in the middle-ish area. So I will go ahead and mark a spot for 1 3/4. And then just to be somewhat exact, I do have a tape measure out here. Look, I wasn't even on my spot. So this is close right here. Alright, now because this is for your bottom, I I want to go ahead and put 2 additionals right in the middle of these. I won't ever be replacing these ones. The top you're only going to be putting 3 screws in, just to make it so that you don't have to worry about cutting into a screw whenever you're using it for saws, something like that. All right, so now we have your I-beam construction right there. So this is very, very strong. This won't ever really tip around or anything like that. Well, it won't break. You could hold a lot of weight on this, and the way your legs are going, you got the top brace sitting on top of your legs, so you're pushing down on this, but you've got the legs holding together on this I-beam portion. Alright, so your legs you want cut at a 15-degree angle, so we'll go ahead and rotate this over to 15. It doesn't have to be exactly 15, just make sure that you lock it down. First one I didn't lock it down, and one leg was different, so I had to recut it. But as you can see, I've got the bevel right there, and with this we can't use the crosscut sled, so we've got the miter gauge, and we'll put that right in there. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and cut some legs. All right, so there's no real trickery to this process. You just want the legs to be at 30.5 inches. And the reason why I did 30.5 inches is because that's how high it would come out to be with my workbench, so that these sawhorses were as tall as my workbench. So we'll come over here and we will do 30.5 inches right here. Do a 15. So if the blade is tilted that way to begin with, we need to go ahead and do 15 degrees this way. And this is for no particular reason, just to make sure that I have, no, that's the wrong direction. So we'll go ahead and get this one cut right here first. And this helps with lining up your blade. Okay, so now that we've got that end cut, we can come back to this one. And now what we want to do is we want to go in the same exact direction. So you got your cut this way, you want this one to go this way as well. So now we'll go ahead and put this one right here. We'll knock the tooth down a little bit. And what we want to do is just barely touch on the bottom, and it'll cut that 15 degrees in. So we'll go ahead and cut this. So now we should be able to check long to short should be 30.5 inches. So we're going 30.25 inch legs. So I cut that one a little bit short, but when you cut it short, have no fear. All you have to do with the design is make sure that all your other legs match up. And this is where the repeatability comes in a factor. And you take the rest of your 2x4 and you can lay it back up on your saw, and you make sure that your lines, or that your edges all match up, just like we did with the top on the crosscut sled. So you've got your legs are flush right there, and I'm flush all the way on the back side. Just double check, and then you can come down here and make your mark. And this gives you that repeatability. So like before, we'll put this one to the side. That's our reference. You can make an R on there or something else if you want to. And we'll come back here, and we want to barely cut that line. All right, guys, so this is where I came and found out that I needed to use the 2.5 inch screws versus any other screw, that the 2.5 inch was the perfect screw, and it's because of mounting the legs into here. So what you want to do is you have one flush side right here, and you actually want to butt it up against the top. So what you want to do is go ahead and butt it up against the top and against the side, and when you have that all flushed up, you can go ahead and take a drill bit and I always go ahead and get one screw in here. That helps with the leg staying in place where you want it to be. So now you can let go of the leg and it'll stay where you want it. And now you can drill the rest of your 3 holes. All right, guys, well, it is completely finished. I have the sawhorse right here and it's all done. Yeah, that was fun. It wasn't hard at all. It took approximately 30 minutes to make, which is very simple. And in my mind, this is one of the best designed sawhorses ever. And the reason why is because of all the areas of support. You've got screws drilled into the bottom part, screws built into the top or the middle section, and then all your workpiece force is going to be sitting up here on this top frame, pushing down on all the legs. So you have all the pressure going down, but you're held in with the screws into the 2x4s that are in the middle of the I-beam section. Now you could even brace this up even more, and that simply be done by, let me see if this will fit on my table saw. So if you wanted to brace this up even more, you could go ahead and put a 3/4 inch or a 1/2 inch piece of plywood on this end, or even going across the bottom, and that would help with the legs splaying out. Or you could even do it on the front side right here, going across. So you could do something going all the way around. Now, my suggestion for you, if you go that route, would be to get your sawhorses built. And when you go to do this, because these are actually stackable sawhorses. So take your sawhorse, put it on your other sawhorse that you're going to be doing. So I got my 2 sawhorses together, and then mock it up to where they can still be stackable. So you wouldn't want your piece of plywood coming up here on both of them, but then on this, the top one right here, you wouldn't want a piece of plywood coming down this low, because then they would hit on the top pieces. So they can hold a lot of weight. You gotta think of what a sheet of plywood would be, and for that, I'm gonna put you guys right here, and then I can go onto these, and then stand on them. I weigh about 150 pounds, so I mean, you're never gonna have a lot of huge weight on them, and where it's going to be shaking around a lot, stuff like that, to where it's going to really disrupt that. So guys, let me know what you guys think about these. Do you guys have a favorite kind of sawhorse? I know that I've seen videos on other ones that made out of strictly plywood. They don't seem like they would be as sturdy as these. These will hold a lot of weight. So my plans for these are that I can use them for anything, not just woodworking or something like that, but just about anything. And the reason why I made them the height I did and the width I did is, hold on, I'll show you in just a second, is that if I have a sheet good or something else that needs to be put on to my workbench, look, I have an extension right here. So I would just be able to lay something bigger than a ruler on it, and these are completely level-ish. So that works. And if I had something wide, I can move this over and put the other 2-foot one there. So essentially I have a 4-foot sawhorse I can put out here. If I need a sheet good, I can lay it up there. So it makes sense. Man, there's a lot of rambling going on, guys. I'm gonna be done with this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them in the section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you guys get all the notifications. We do projects on Sundays, and I'm starting a workbench Wednesday where I just do it like a vlog style kind of video, let you guys know updates that are going on. As you can see, the workbench was moved. Check out Wednesday's video, last Wednesday's video, on why it got moved, how I did it, what it involved. Thanks guys for watching. I will see you guys next week.